While federal lawmakers in the Senate were polarized over a bill that seeks to legislate against open grazing in Nigeria. The bill also seeks to establish a National Animal Husbandry and Ranchers Commission as the only solution to end perennial clashes between farmers and herders in the country. Arise correspondent Omar Bazwaye tells us more.
The endless conflict for land resources between farmers and herders in Nigeria has been a major source of concern, with more than 4,000 people killed in the country since 2016, according to reports. A bill by Senator Titus Zam from Benue State is proposing ranching as a sole viable alternative for cattle breeding to end herder-farmer clashes nationwide.
My distinguished colleagues, now is the time to bring about a law to stop open grazing. It is old-fashioned, hazardous, burdensome, and must be discarded. The bill therefore proposes ranching as the only viable alternative for cattle breeding in Nigeria.
The proposition is, however, kicked against by some northern senators who believe restraining herders to their state of origin violates their constitutional right to freedom of movement.
I'm against the idea of restricting movement of Nigerians from one state to another.
No, that would not happen.
Right now, citizens of Nigeria are allowed to move from one state to another to establish business without any hindrance whatsoever.
It affects everywhere in Nigeria.
Yes.
Nobody can restrict
pastoralists
movement.
As citizens of Nigeria, they can move to north central, northwest, northeast, south, and establish their business without
They can do so, but not with AK-47.
These Fulanis are Nigerians. They don't even benefit from government. They don't enjoy schools. They don't enjoy hospitals. They don't enjoy any roads. All the housing programs done by government, and they don't enjoy them, nothing. So to just throw them away like that because they happen to come from they are assumed to have come from states that may not have even enough water, enough grazing area. And you say you can only be done in that state. I think it's not going to work.
The bill eventually scaled second reading despite strong push by some of the northern senators to step it down on grounds that it is discriminatory and against ECOWAS protocol.
As we consider this, I also want us to look at the Land Use Act as an impediment to this particular very wonderful bill to ensure that we can get and put to rest this matter of herder-farmer clash.
Apart from the Constitution, like Senator Alero said, the ECOWAS protocol is part of the problem that we have. You can quote the Constitution, but what about the ECOWAS protocol? It allows you to move anywhere with your business. We allow you to move anywhere with your cows. So in getting towards realizing this, you must be very conscious of your laws in the nation because you are not making a law for your state.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, appealed to senators to allow the bill go for a public hearing where proposals in the bill, including amending the Land Use Act, can be fine-tuned. A majority voice vote passed the bill for a second reading and subsequently referred it to the Joint Committee on Agriculture, Trade, Investment and Legal Services to be reported back within 4 weeks. Omar Bazwaye, Rise News.
And that was Senator Simon Lalong, APC, Plateau South, among other senators there on this move by the Senate to ban open grazing. While some northern senators are opposed to the plan, we're now being joined by Rise News analyst Dayo Shubuwale. Good to have you with us as always on this show. This is very good. So this is a sensitive topic which resonated frequently during the tenure of the previous administration and even beyond regarding that, and led to conflicts between the federal government and state governments as well. So what has changed since then and now, regarding, and why are the northern senators, what are they afraid of regarding this proposal?
Well, this is a democracy. It's a democracy. I'm happy with the development because we are at long last coming to grips with the nitty-gritty of our insecurity, our food insecurity in particular. And you see, some people are living in the past, but because they have power, influence, they think they can literally get away with murder. I'm happy to be a Nigerian to watch this debate. And you can see the mood of on both sides, those who are for and those, and you can know where they come from. That's it. To me, that's our unity in diversity at play. Our multi-ethnicity, our multi-religious background. Which if you do not manage well, and I'm happy you are managing it well, because it's been discussed in open light, and we are watching it. And people are giving reasons. That's democracy. They are giving reasons. Let's see how it goes. That's my first take.
Oh, thank you, sir. Now, the senator who sponsored the bill is a senator from Benue State, and we have seen that a lot of the insecurity and clashes that do happen between farmers and herders have happened in the Middle Belt region of the country. However, do you believe that a bill that encourages ranching might actually improve investment into herding in Nigeria? If we, instead of us having pastoral grazing, do you think investment in modern livestock would be improved if this bill is possibly passed?
It will. I agree totally with you. And that's the root cause of the matter. You see, it's a case of the victim versus the persecutor now. See, you can't come from Plateau, Benue, areas where the farms are being ravaged by herders, and you expect them to come and speak as representatives of their people to encourage such marauding, because it is agricultural marauding. It is not on. So you see, I'm happy the debate is on, and the moderator, who happens to be the president, has allowed both sides. In the past, it will not get to a stage where they will debate it. Some people will just cough out from the north, and then that will be the end of it. But at long last, it is being debated. And then let us look at ranching, let us look at people driving cattle across. It's not modern. It is, you see, they are talking of freedom of movement, yes. ECOWAS protocol. It is a mockery of the Constitution for you to be saying people have the right to move around and destroy other people's property. That is not modernization, and that is not a way of living. See, it's a destructive mode of living, and it is ancient and archaic. And I'm happy if this bill passes through and the president assents, then it will make our democracy better.
Yes. Even before now, we've seen scenarios whereby when it comes to modernized farming, you might want to point to the Western climes when it comes to commercial cattle ranching, as it were. Yeah. But even now, we're seeing some African countries like even Kenya embracing all of that, and they're not so too favorably disposed to open pastoral grazing, as it were, in this case. So if we were to delve into the environmental impacts of open grazing over time, especially to commercial farming in Nigeria, so how would you relate to that regarding the problems we're having and the challenges and the opposition towards this? If you remember, just before the end of that clip, Senator Babi was even saying, okay, hey, fine, if they must go out, they shouldn't be carrying guns, AK-47s, as it were, and that's the norm, you know, and banditry and all forms of terrorism are also associated with these raras, as it were.
Look, the unspoken word, sacred word, literally, is Fulani herdsmen. And the reason is not far-fetched, it's political. But don't let me dwell on that. What I will dwell on is your comparison with modern farming and ranching in Europe, yes. Even in Latin America.
And even in Africa too, some countries embracing it.
So why are they an exception? See, the Fulanis are all over West Africa, especially the north of West Africa. Of course, you can say climatology has affected them. Even the legislator there said that, you see, you cannot make a law against people who are coming to look for water But in the process of looking for water, you get me? Must they destroy other people's livelihood? And if they carry AK rifle, which he has confirmed now, and I tell you, until we learn to say this is Fulani harassment, destroying crops of people in other areas, we will not get it done. And the reason, I said, is political. The whole of the North is under the hegemony of the Fulani. All the emirs are Fulanis. You can find out. Since Madam Fodio Jihad, they have always been in charge. And they have always been in charge of Nigeria. Get me? But they can't do that in a democracy. We had Obas before, who had authority. But they are even now reported to the local government chairman. Let them adapt to democracy and modernization, and let us move forward. Yes.
Okay. Well, it's been reported that the commander for Operation Safe Haven, Abdul Salam Abubakar, has said that criminal suspects have attacked and destroyed over 50 farmlands in Plateau and Kaduna states between just April and May. So in 1 month, just 50 farmlands destroyed. It's also been reported that MSF, Médecins Sans Frontières, has said that malnutrition of children has increased by up to 100% in certain areas. Now, considering our food insecurity crisis in this nation at this moment, do you believe that this bill is necessary to protect our food basket?
Absolutely. You know, I started out by saying that, see, we are about solving our problem of insecurity and food security. Yes. And yesterday I discussed about malnutrition. You had the health state of malnutrition. And then even in areas where people go to schools, although in most parts of the north, they don't go to school. In the areas where they go to school, because of the Boko Haram menace, say no to Western education. You know where we are. The schools have been decimated, deserted. And of course, it will affect the future of those states. Something is not done. If you can get this on in the right direction, we are moving in the right direction. And I hope the bill sails through. I pray it sails through.
All right, Mr. Shobwal, you just added a caveat to that, and I'm going to also stress on that as well. If you remember the previous administration, there was a bit of a lukewarm attitude when it came to grazing, open grazing, and you also mentioned the fact that there was some politics involved as well, you know, regarding that. But if we were to look at it, you know, holistically, if this becomes law eventually, what about adherence to the dictates of what this law says? You know, it's one thing to have a law, but it's another thing to implement it. And also, who is going to actually implement the law, as it were? We know the culture of breaking laws in this part of the world, and so that's a bit of a caution here.
You see, we are in a democracy. And we are guided by the concept of the rule of law. And the government, I keep on repeating this, is any government that can maintain the use of force in ensuring its rule within a given territorial area. Leave that challenge to government.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.